Okay, people, welcome back to Normski TV and another match reaction. Champions League quarterfinals, first leg. Sporting 0, Arsenal 1. And may I say, guys, it was a hard watch. But in my title, the finishers got us over the line. Yes, I'm saying it. Arteta's finishers got us over the line. Arteta brought on the likes of Kai Havertz, Martinelli, and Max Darman. And, it was a great goal by Kai Havertz. Lovely touch, first time touch from him, and then to just lay it off into the goal was actually great. And the assist from Martinelli as well, great. Do you know what I mean? That's the thing that we need. We want to see more of that. Where we're playing those balls in those little gaps, in those little spaces, playing it behind the defenders. You know what I mean? Listen, Gokros was working hard tonight. He didn't get the service that he needed. There was a point where he received the ball in an offside position. And we thought Zubamendi had scored a goal. He had laid it off back to a player. Thought he'd scored a goal, but when you look back, he was clearly offside. But look, let's get into it. The team news, some changes. Calafiori, Gabriel Saliba. Gabriel, he's back. Obviously, the knee issues have obviously healed up, but we know that a lot of these guys are playing with niggles and playing with injuries. Saliba, Benjamin White, David Raya, who for me was definitely the player of the match. In that midfield, Rice comes back, and Zubamendi and Odegaard in the midfield, and then Trossard, Gokeres, and Madueke as the front three. And look, gonna say, when I saw, especially the midfield, when I saw Odegaard in there, I was thinking this might not work out the way we want it to work out. And to be perfectly honest, look, the first, I think it was the first maybe 5-10 minutes of the game, a ball from the outside of his boot from Diomande from deep sets up Arajo, if that's how you pronounce his name. And I thought, oh my gosh, and he hits it with venom, not realizing that Raya had actually got a hand to it and pushed it onto the bar. Literally, faint hand pushed it onto the bar. We could have been 1-0 down. And this is what was happening. They're playing, they must have watched Southampton because they bypassed our midfield, a ball over the top, and a couple of times it was troubling us. And you're thinking to yourself, this could be a long evening. This could be a long evening. And there's been a couple of times where David Raya was called into action. It makes a double save, and there's another situation where the ball sort of fell out of his hands, made a save, it bounced out of his hands, but was able to kind of make that double save to keep it. He gets a clean sheet in the Champions League. And as I said, it was a hard watch, a professional win by Arsenal, clean sheet, defensive wise. I thought we'd done okay. Saliba, Gabriel, they weren't really trouble, to be fair. Ben White for me was probably, I would say, maybe less the weaker link than Calafiori, because I thought 1-on-1 Calafiori was getting cooked. And a couple of times he was sent on his bum, and that right midfielder was just going past him. Every time you're just thinking, mate, is he going to be able to stand up to this guy? But fortunately, he gets through it. And the guy that he was up against was Catamayo, if that's how you pronounce his name. That's who he was up against. And as a few times he's got past him, quick feet. The thing about Calafiori, when he's facing 1-on-1 tricky wingers, he can't defend well. Cannot defend well. And it was, as I said, there was a goal when he went past Calafiori, and I think Gabriel Mangalese sort of moved out the way, and I can't remember who the header came from, but the guy glanced the header. It might have been Suarez, if my memory serves me right. I can't remember. And you see Raya making that reaction save. So for me, Raya is definitely the man of the match. I'd say for the likes of Odegaard and Madueke, no end product, just running around like headless chickens, not playing the right ball. He has a shot which is straight at the keeper. I'm thinking, listen, if you're going to shoot, at least try and hit it either side of the keeper. Do you know what I mean? There was no conviction in his shot. And for me, Odegaard, yet again, gets hooked off in the 60th minute. Kai Havertz comes on for him. And just make sure that is the case. I think, yeah, Kai Havertz does come on for him. Yeah, in the 70th minute. So in the 70th minute, Odegaard goes off. Didn't look too happy, but listen, he doesn't offer nothing. Personally speaking, the commentator just sort of said, look, he looks busy, but really no end product. You know, the passing just wasn't it. Do you know what I mean? There was no end product with the passing. Madueke, when he's meant to make the pass, he doesn't. He's like taking that extra touch. He's not got his head up. He's not looking for that simple pass. Same with Odegaard. You need to look for the simple pass. Do you know what I mean? Zubimendi, you know what I mean? He gets to that goal, but it's disallowed. But how many times has this guy not played the ball forward? Why did you? You're a hard watch. The team is a hard watch because they play so slow and so lethargic. Do you know what I mean? Yes, you know that's Mikel Arteta's tactics is to control the game. You're gonna hear him in his press conference. We dominated, we was dominant, and yes, we come out of there smash and grab 1-0 in the 90th plus minute, 1 minute, injury time. We get the goal. But it's just, when we're going to come up against the likes of, Barcelona or Atletico Madrid, are we going to survive? Is our defense going to be able to stand up to that? Is our midfield going to be able to stand up to that? I don't know. Personally speaking, you know, when you hear the other games, the Bayern Munich game, you could hear the commentator sort of coming backwards and sort of telling us what was going on in the other game. And I was listening to other content creators talking about the game as well. That game against Real Madrid, Bayern Munich was a game which sounded very exciting. They're coming away from the Bernabeu with a 2-1 win. Harry Kane scoring the second goal. Diaz gets the first goal, and I think Kylian Mbappe scored for them. So, listen, we move back to our game. We go back to the Emirates with a 1-0 lead. I think we will get through to the semi-finals now. Hopefully, we will have more of our more creative players, more of our more dynamic players back for that game. We need to see Timber back at right back. As I say, we are playing with a lot of players that are in the red. That is the problem. We're playing with a lot of players that are in the red. And listen, we've got a game on Saturday, early kickoff at home to Bournemouth, 12:30 kickoff. You left the likes of Saka and Timber at home. And I'm hoping that they will be fit for purpose for that game come Saturday. We need to win that game. It's absolutely vital because if we end up drawing that game, losing that game, City are in the ascendancy right now. I just think, mate, this could be a very, very long 7 weeks or so. Do you know what I mean? So we have to go and do the business. But coming back to the game tonight, say Kai Havertz coming on, getting the winner, lovely assist from Gabriel Martinelli. I mean, a lot of these players come the summer need to go. The likes of Odegaard. And even though Kai Havertz scored a goal, listen, we know you're going to go. But if it was me and I was selling him. Jesus didn't even come on tonight. Do you know what I mean? He has to go. The likes of Martinelli, the likes of Trossard. Do you know what I mean? He came off holding his calf. I don't know if he's got another injury or it was just I don't know, a bit of a strain. Who knows? Who knows? It might be cramp. We don't know. But he comes up holding the back of his calf. We'll see what happens and see what Mikel Arteta says on that front. But yeah, all in all, Max Diamond comes on. And look, he tried, but that left back was all over him. But at the end of the day, at least Mikel Arteta brought him on. I think he came on in the 76th minute for Noni Madueke. And I was calling for Matt Diamond to actually come on earlier. I needed to see him much earlier. But, because at 0-0, you're just wondering, is Mikel going to see it? It felt that way. It absolutely felt that way, that we had gone to Sporting to not lose, come away, get a draw, but we end up getting that goal in the last minute. Smash and grab, but a very good smash and grab in terms of the quality of the pass from Martinelli and the finish by Kai Havertz. you bet your bottom dollar now with Kai Havertz. You've got Mikel Arteta in his post match, saying that he's a player for the big games. Look, Gokares, does he start on Saturday or is he going to start Kai Havertz? We'll see. The likelihood, I think he could start Kai Havertz and maybe bring Gokares off the bench. I don't know. But for me, in terms of Gokares, he didn't get the service that he did. He tried, he held up the ball where he could, but just didn't have, the service. He had a great welcome from, the sporting fans and from the players, that you saw him, hugging up the players and the manager. Seems like everything now is put to bed now. And they move. He can move on with his life, and Sporting Lisbon can move on with their lives. You know what I mean? But yeah, but I say all in all, it was a hard watch. But as I said, the finishers got us over the line. They did do a press conference with or post match with David Raya. I think Kai Havertz also said that he's probably one of the best keepers in the world. Look, he's a very, very good keeper, and you could imagine if he had played for us in that Carabao Cup final, it might have been a different story. But who knows? It's gone now. 2 cups down, 2 to go. So we'll see what happens concerning the club and the team going forward. They need to just get back to London, rest off. I say because they've got an early kickoff on Saturday, 12:30 kickoff. And just going back to what I said with David Raya when he was, interviewed, he talked about, does he feel that Arsenal can go on and win the Champions League? And he said, look, we're in it, and we do believe we can do something. But he used the reference again of the fire in the belly, the pain in the belly, and this is all Arteta. He's been listening to Arteta. He said the right things concerning fire in the belly, the pain in the belly, and that they have to use that as a fuel for the next 7 weeks or so to try and get ourselves over the line. And I hope to God that we do get over the line with the Premier League. I don't really see us getting past the likes of Atletico or Barcelona. If we do, then wow. Do you know what I mean? But at the moment, you're watching Barcelona, the way they're carrying on at the moment. Atletico Madrid, going to be tough. But I do think when we do get back to the Emirates that we will be the favourites to win that game and go on to a semi-final, which means it's another extra game. But that's what it is. You're going to go far in the competition. We need all our players fit. Fortunately and unfortunately, a lot of our players are in the red. And this is where Arteta really needs to manage this and manage it properly. He has to manage the players and manage it properly. So you're seeing 4 or 5 players out. Pierre Nketiah is out with a hamstring or a thigh injury. So we don't know how long he's going to be out for. Eze, again, we don't know how long that's going to be. So listen, 7 games to go, 9 points ahead. With them having a game in hand, can we get it over the line? This is what I'm asking you, Arteta. Do you have the minerals to get this team over the line, especially when it comes to the Premier League? I don't think we're going to go and get to a final. If we do, then so be it. But we need to win the Premier League. We was in 4 competitions. 2 are gone. And now we have 2 left. Make sure it is the Premier League that you get. And then we'll see what happens with the Champions League. But people, smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you to everybody that has subscribed to the channel. As I said, hit the 1K. Tomorrow I will be back with the What's Going On podcast. Please check me out on that. We'll be having a couple of the friends on, and we're just going to talk football, talk about the game today, and obviously talk about the game that went by in terms of the FA Cup, us getting knocked out. And by the way, Southampton, following on from that game, they go away to Wrexham and beat them 5-1 to jump above them in the playoffs. So listen, it's done them a lot of good. Today, it's probably done us a lot of good. But let me just finish by doing this, guys. Now, maybe the reason why we played so well today, you know, and maybe for the future could be because of this. Yeah, that will focus us on winning the league. Can you see the guys behind us in training? Yeah, balancing the pens on their heads. This is what Arteta is doing with our club. With our club. Balance the pens on your heads and we will win the league. Listen, people, smash the like button, subscribe and share if you're new, and I'll see you on the next match reaction. Take care and God bless.